How a Lack of Control Can Control Us. Mental Health by Natalie Rinehart.
Wow! Welcome to 2026, everyone. What a massive year 2025 was for so many people. I think the best way to describe it was extreme. Extremely good in some ways, challenging, hard, but growth-inducing. Extremes can bring out the best and worst in us. But what they highlight is our human need for a sense of control. Today is a good day for this, as it's January 27, and we are holding our breath for the 44-degree day. Here in Warrandyte, we know the fear of high-risk fire days. Most of us keep an eye on the Vic Emergency app, news or the radio. We don't have a lot of personal control over whether a fire starts in our area or how bad it gets. And when we can't control an outcome in our lives, we get anxious. For some, it's a big anxiety, and others are more resilient. What makes a difference is how we frame it and plan alternative outcomes. Control what we can control. Fire plans are a big part of this. So how does control impact our young people? Let's have a quick scan of the type of things that are possibly threatening in the current world. Climate change, world wars and politics, terrorism, housing costs, cost of living, ability to get a job, school marks, university places, where they live, a family's socio-economic position, and on and on. It's easy to feel overwhelmed with anxiety and about which elements they can influence or control. Having some level of control over our lives is essential to building a sense of self. If they are told what to do and follow instructions all their lives, then who are they really? They are following a plan programmed by someone else. This impacts their motivation to act and their sense of accountability. What is the point in trying when someone else is calling all the shots all the time? The number of times I've heard, "It doesn't matter what I do, it won't get any better," is heartbreaking. Young people need some control of their life. Some of the positives that come with a feeling of control include growth in resilience. Young people who make decisions that don't turn out need to find a way to bounce back and try again. This process may be hard, but it can breed strategic situation analysis and problem solving. For example, the natural consequence of not studying are often bad grades. So, rather than demanding they study by a certain age, it's about how we support their ability to get themselves to do it. What do we see in young people who feel no sense of control? It can show up very differently depending on the young person. For some, we see anger, extreme defiance, beyond what we expect in teenage years, trashing of social norms, and possibly a lack of empathy for others. This is the group that gets most attention in the community, and the idea that young people just don't care anymore. More often than not, they are grabbing control from the hands of others because they feel no internal sense of it. For others, we may see very high degrees of anxiety, which can lead to perfectionism, too scared to make a mistake, unhealthy self-esteem, and an inability to receive constructive criticism. This tends to happen when a lack of control is turned into rigid rules to be followed by both themselves and others. This false sense of control presents as a coping mechanism, but eventually becomes a cross to bear. Equally, some show apathy or plain withdrawal from the world. Rather than raging against their lack of agency, they just stop trying altogether. That motivation element is gone because they feel inert. They withdraw. They lack interests and passions. This, over time, can lead to depression, which further fuels a sense of hopelessness. Pretty bleak, right? Okay, so what are we, the adults, going to do about it for our young people? Personally, I get a bit tired of us older people complaining about young people, but refusing to look at the places and spaces we set up for them. Let's try and change it by offer choice rather than demands. In the home, it might be, do you want to clean the bathroom or mow the lawn this weekend? They're still helping, but they choose. Allow some natural consequences. I don't mean hands off the wheel, but don't keep trying to save them by forcing them. That study example I mentioned at the start is a good example of discovering consequences. Encourage problem solving. After natural consequences, offer some emotional support, but also ask what you think would have worked better next time. Is there any way I can help with that? Allow their emotional response. We all have them, and sometimes we just need to get them out before we can be logical about something. Make the time to give your reasoning on something, the why. Don't just say, because I said so. It shows them that strategic situation analysis and respect. Show them you see them trying. Trying is the first step to success. A sense of control is important for all of us. It's paramount to our mental health and well-being. It shouldn't be a surprise that our young people need it too. Next time you're hanging with your young person, maybe have a think about how you can ensure they feel a sense of agency in their life. Until next time, folks.
Natalie Rinehart is a young person and family counsellor and life coach and author. Find her at youthlifecoach.com.au. Email on youthlifecoach@healthpriorities.com.au or phone 0425 735 106. Advice in this column is of a general nature. This story was read by Rebecca Rose and Sandy Miller.